Everyone's talking about Europe's competitiveness, or lack of it maybe. But what does it mean to be competitive? It doesn't happen by accident or by osmosis. It happens as a byproduct of doing one or several things. So what are those things? I'm here in Brussels to ask a series of energy experts what's their definition of competitiveness and how do we achieve it? What does Europe need to do to become more competitive?
I mean, the competitiveness question obviously these days is very much related to energy. First of all, connection requests. It becomes a factor in competitiveness on how fast you can connect almost anything to the system, from data centers to big wind parks to any larger industrial site, or simply to your PV or to your EV that you want to buy at home. So that in itself becomes an advantage in a location if you can connect to the grid faster. Secondly, affordability, of course, right? So if we can bring energy prices down, the competitiveness of all of Europe will go up. And that can be achieved by getting the renewables up, because that's still the cheapest form of energy. It's an independent one, as we just discussed. And secondly, introducing flexibility management into the system to manage a stable and reliable grid, which is, again, a competitive advantage if you have a stable and reliable grid, to really manage that in the most effective and affordable way.
Yeah, I think Europe to be competitive, look what are our strengths. Do we have oil and do we want to drill to have oil? No. Do we have gas? No, no more, I would say. So our strength is electricity for the competitiveness. And luckily, competitiveness is also very good for the climate. Electricity, decarbonized electricity, which is a very strong strength of Europe. Yes, it's key for competition in the world, especially in these days where other places in the world somehow rediscuss if climate is a problem. We have in Europe our value, we think that is a problem, and electricity is a solution.
Rising energy costs have strained Europe's industrial backbone, especially in those sectors that are competing globally.
Well, I mean, we should start by the opportunity, shouldn't we? Europe has the potential to be the preeminent sort of organised market, fully low carbon, zero carbon system, and build, you know, the electro majors, the major companies that are going to power the electric economy. And you know, that's not just one or two companies, that's whole supply chains, it's IT, it's advisory, it's all those structures. And Europe still has the opportunity to do that, but it will need to move quickly. And that is about making sure that, you know, we keep pushing for efficiency and innovation within the way that electrification is rolled out, that we are thinking carefully to make sure that we maximize where it's efficient to do so, you know, that supply chain and the location of that supply chain in hubs around Europe. Obviously, if it's cheaper, it should go around the world. And then, you know, a lot of focus at a national and a European regulatory level on getting that right and getting rid of some of those blockers. But it's an incredible opportunity Europe has.
To counteract this pressure, Europe is betting big on homegrown technology, and it's crafting the policy to accelerate it.
Well, I think in Europe what we need to do to become more competitive is innovate. But innovation has at least two aspects. So one aspect of it, which is the technological innovation, I think we're doing well. I think we're implementing the technologies that we need and we're developing them. But we also need contractual and market innovation to be able to bring those technologies and make them investable, because those developers who want to actually build those projects, they need that revenue certainty. They need to be able to finance their projects. And as long as we don't have structures that provide them with that certainty, we're not going to be able to deploy those technologies in the right way. So we need to innovate in those contracting structures, make those projects financially viable, get that project financed, and then get those technologies connected to the grid.
Competitiveness in the energy transition is about more than just technology. It's about who sets the rules and who plays by them.